For decades, Carol Burnett's vibrant career and infectious humor have made her a household name, beloved by millions. But what if we told you that, at 92, she's finally revealing something that's been hidden in plain sight? A secret that her fans have always suspected, yet she's never dared to speak about. The moment has finally arrived, and it's a revelation that could change the way you see this comedic legend forever. What is it? Stay with us to discover the truth behind Carol Burnett's bold admission and why it is so significant to her journey. Carol Burnett's journey to becoming a household name was one of instant fame or easy triumph. Born on April 26, 1933, in San Antonio, Texas, Carol's early life was marked by struggle and hardship. Raised by her grandmother and mother in a modest home, she was no stranger to the challenges that shaped her. Her father, who battled alcoholism, was rarely around, leaving Carol and her mother to navigate life's obstacles on their own. But even in the face of adversity, there was a spark in Carol, a drive to find joy, to make others laugh, and to escape into the world of performance. As a young girl, Carol's love for the stage grew. She began performing in school plays and in front of friends and family, honing her unique ability to blend humor with vulnerability. She wasn't just trying to make people laugh, she was giving them a window into her soul. But it wasn't until she moved to New York in the early 1950s, armed with nothing but ambition and a few dollars, that her dream began to take shape. Her big break came when she was cast on The Gary Moore Show in 1959. It was here that Carol's irrepressible spirit began to shine through, captivating audiences with her impeccable timing and emotional depth. But what made Carol stand out wasn't just her comedy, yet was the authenticity she brought to everything she did. Yet, despite all her success, Carol carried something with her that she kept hidden from the public. What could this be? And how did it affect her journey as one of the greatest comedians of all time? Carol Burnett's rise to stardom was nothing short of meteoric, but it wasn't without its challenges. By the time The Carol Burnett Show premiered in 1967, Carol had already established herself as one of the most beloved personalities in television. The show quickly became a cultural phenomenon with its sharp sketches, unforgettable characters, and Burnett's impeccable comedic timing. Her ability to switch effortlessly from slapstick humor to poignant emotional moments made her a true pioneer in the world of variety television. Behind the laughter, however, Carol faced the intense pressures that came with being a woman in the male-dominated television industry. While her career soared, her personal life began to weigh heavily on her. The burden of keeping up appearances, maintaining the perfect image while hiding the cracks beneath, was a constant struggle. Yet Carol never let the public see this side of her. On-screen, she was a force of nature, embodying roles that ranged from the absurd to the heartfelt. But beneath her bright smile and contagious laugh, there was a growing sense of vulnerability that Carol couldn't shake. As the years went by, the stakes of her success only grew higher. The pressure to remain the face of comedy, to keep the show running flawlessly, took a toll. Despite the laughs, she found herself questioning if her humor was truly her own, or if it was a shield one that protected her from something deeper. What was Carol Burnett hiding behind the laughter? Could the pressure of success be more than she could handle? The mystery deepens, and in the next chapter, we begin to uncover the emotional challenges she kept hidden from the world. As Carol Burnett's career continued to thrive, her personal life began to unravel in ways no one could have predicted. Beneath the surface of her warm, larger-than-life personality, Carol was grappling with inner turmoil that she kept fiercely guarded. In the public eye, she was an icon-woman who brought joy to millions. But in private, Carol was facing personal tragedies that would have broken even the strongest of people. One of the most significant struggles was the breakdown of her first marriage to actor Don Soroyan. The two had married in the early 1950s, but the pressures of their high-profile careers and the emotional toll of their personal lives ultimately led to their separation. For Carol, this was more than just a failed marriage, it was a deep sense of loss, one that she didn't have the freedom to express openly. In the years that followed, Carol also faced the devastating death of her daughter, Carrie, from cancer in 2002, a loss so profound it shook Carol to her very core. Yet, despite the heartbreak, Carol kept going, using her humor as a way to cope. What the world didn't know was that comedy wasn't just her job, it was her armor. It allowed her to hide the pain she felt from the loss of loved ones and the unspoken loneliness she often experienced. She laughed for the world, but the person who was laughing the hardest was often the one who needed healing the most. But why didn't she open up? Why did she keep the darkest parts of her life hidden from the public? What was she protecting, and from whom? The answer may surprise you, and in the next chapter, Carol's long-held secrets begin to surface. At 92, Carol Burnett made a decision that stunned both her fans and the public. She finally opened up about the struggles she had kept hidden for decades. For years, Carol had built a career on making people laugh, but behind the scenes, she was carrying the weight of personal loss, heartbreak, and emotional challenges. In her later years, she chose to reveal the truth behind the facade of her comedic persona, admitting something that had been lurking just beneath the surface all along. For years, Carol's fans had speculated, sensing there was more to her story than the public saw. She was always the brave, cheerful performer, the one who never let the cracks show. But in her older age, Carol revealed that humor was not just a means of connecting with others. It was her shield, her way of protecting herself from the pain she felt deep down. The laughter that defined her career was, in many ways, a survival tactic. It allowed her to deflect the deeper emotional turmoil she faced in her personal life. Why did she choose now, at the age of 92, to finally speak out? Was it simply the passing of time, or was there a deeper need to reconcile the woman the world knew with the woman she had kept hidden? Carol's decision to open up in her later years was just about clearing the air. It was about healing. The truth, once unspoken, now had the power to reshape her legacy. As the world absorbed her revelation, one question lingered. What did this admission mean for Carol's journey, and how would it change the way we see her? In the final chapter, we explore the impact of this truth on her legacy and on herself, Carol Burnett. As admission at 92 was more than just a moment of catharsis, it marked the culmination of a life spent navigating the complexities of fame, loss, and the unspoken struggles that come with both. As she looked back on her legendary career, Carol was no longer just the sharp-witted comedian audiences adored. She had become a symbol of resilience, vulnerability, and honesty, a woman who had lived her truth in both laughter and sorrow, and who was now willing to share her deepest experiences with the world. Her comedy, which had made millions laugh for decades, now took on new meaning. It was no longer just a tool for entertainment. It was a window into her soul. The humor that had once been her shield had now evolved into a tool of connection, something that allowed her to share not only her triumphs but also her pain. By opening up about the personal hardships she had faced, Carol gave her fans the opportunity to see her not as a flawless icon but as a real person, just like them. Carol's reflection on her legacy wasn't just about the laughter she brought to the world. It was about the message she imparted through her authenticity, that even the brightest stars can carry hidden burdens, and that healing comes not from keeping secrets, but from embracing them. As she left behind the weight of silence, Carol showed the world that true strength lies in vulnerability. What does this mean for Carol's future? Will her journey continue to inspire generations to come? Carol's story reminds us all that it's never too late to embrace our truth, and in doing so, we find freedom. Her legacy will not just be defined by the laughs, but by the courage to be fully, authentically herself.